It's important that a food and fluid assessment are undertaken to make sure that we're meeting people's nutritional and hydration needs. Everyone's needs are different. We all have different likes and dislikes. And if people don't like the food and don't eat it, then it's wasted nutritional value. We don't want people to become dehydrated because of the risks to them of falling and confusion and headaches and so on and so forth. We need to take account of people's cultural and religious beliefs as well to make sure that we're not causing offence, and again to encourage people to eat as much as possible. It's so important that we involve our service users in developing menus. We're catering for them and for their needs, so it's really important that we understand their likes and their dislikes, whether they want to have a large meal at lunchtime or at tea time, whether they want a 3-course meal, do they like home baking in between meals. Taking account of their likes and dislikes, because our tastes change as we get older, and you can easily get menu fatigue having the same things all the time. So it's good to try new things, have tasting sessions. I know that some care homes have taster activities, trying out different recipes that they want to try out, making it an interesting activity for an afternoon perhaps, reminiscing about favourite old biscuits or ice lollies in the summertime. Try out new flavours, often tangy flavours, really stimulate people's taste sensation, because our taste changes as we get older too. Sometimes you want things that are sweeter, sometimes more sharp. So give people the chance to try out new things. If they're not able to really articulate very much themselves, then involve their friends and relatives as well who know them best. But even people who have cognitive deficits or people with dementia can really help you to plan special menus, particularly around old memories. Talking about things like how they managed on a tight budget during the war, or their favourite meals at Christmas time, or what their birthday parties were like, what was the party food like. It really brings their whole life story out to share with everyone, so that we really get to know the individual too. It's not just about what's on the plate in front of them, it's about understanding why they like things and the happy memories that those food and drinks bring to them. Think yourself about, what was your 10th birthday like? Who was there? What sort of food did you have? I'll guarantee you it's completely different from a 10-year-old's birthday today, where they expect party bags and trips out and activities and huge birthday cakes, and it costs so much money, whereas a lot of our elderly service users have much more simple needs, and will really enjoy you just making a little bit of an effort to give them something that they really enjoy. One of our care homes in the Highlands, one of our student dietitians spent time talking with 8 residents, all of whom had different degrees of dementia. One lady had her 2 daughters sat there as well, and the student and the activities coordinator for the care home talked to them about what life was like during the Second World War and how difficult it must have been menu planning on such a tight budget. And one of the ladies became quite animated and started talking about how she used to go to the butcher shop with her mum, and her mum would buy a rabbit. She would take it home and skin it and clean the rabbit skin, and the rabbit skin would then be sold to a man the next week who came round specifically to collect rabbit skins, and he would give her some money for it so that she could use it for the rest of her shopping. So we asked the residents what would have been their really special meal for them during the war that would have taken a bit of effort to plan. And unanimously, they agreed on a menu which was Scotch broth, rabbit stew, and clouty dumpling. And we were so taken by the idea that we asked the chef at Urry House if she would maybe help to prepare a meal for all of the residents based on what those 8 people had talked about during the war. And the cook was able to source all those rabbits, make lots of Scotch broth and clootie dumpling, and the home made a huge day of it, really. Invited in family and friends. They put bunting up. There was the wartime songs playing in the background, and the staff even dressed up as land girls, and absolutely loved it. Every resident really, really enjoyed the food that had been prepared especially for them. And of course it brought back lots of wartime memories. So we heard lots more about their lives than we would normally have done just in the course of working with them day to day. So it shows you just how important talking to people about their lives is, and really getting underneath their life history and their background. There's so much to learn really about the social circumstances of the day and who else was around them at the time. It's so important that front of house staff and kitchen staff are really closely involved in helping to plan meal times and menus for any of our care home residents. But it's absolutely critical that they work with the resident themselves, because we're trying to make sure that they get food that they enjoy and that they're going to eat. Especially if people do need a therapeutic diet to keep them well. If they have a swallowing difficulty, it's really important that the advice from the speech and language therapist is followed and the correct texture is prepared. So it's vital really that the front of house staff are speaking with the cook to make sure that a variety of appropriate texture meals are available for individual residents, so they don't get bored, so they're kept safe, and also that the food's nicely prepared so that they will eat it. And if local dietitians have worked with the resident as well about any concerns that perhaps their appetite's not so good, that they can work with the care staff and the kitchen again to help put into practice the advice that someone perhaps needs some additional calories or some extra protein. So just the practical aspects of that, and making sure that it's food and drinks that the individual actually enjoys. So it's about quality, it's about presentation, and it's about safety as well. A lot of our residents are quite vulnerable, but if they have the added pressure of having an allergy or a therapeutic diet, it's so much more important that everyone works together as a team with the resident at the centre to make sure that they have the best quality of life that we can give them. Dietitians are a great resource. They're a scarce resource, but they're a great resource that care staff can access. Each health board has their own dietetic team that you can contact if you just want some general advice about menu planning. If you want to refer anyone for specialist therapeutic dietetic advice, each health board will have their own referral criteria, so just talk that through with them. Finding out about evidence-based resources, again, is a key way that dietitians can help you, rather than relying on newspaper articles or things that you've perhaps read on the internet that may not be evidence-based. So I would advise people to make best use really of your dietitians, speech and language therapists, occupational therapists, can all really help you to support your residents to have the best quality of life and a great mealtime experience because of the expertise that they have. So to make the dining experience as positive as possible, Not all residents will want to sit down together in a large dining room where perhaps there's a lot of noise and distraction. Sometimes people want to just be on their own in their own room, and that's fine. Others will want to involve their family or their friends and have lunch with them, either in the dining room or in their own room. It's great if we can offer that to them. Others will be more dependent and will need a bit more assistance, and the care staff are best placed to know what type of assistance that person needs. Whether it's glasses to be able to see what's in front of them, whether it's having a hearing aid in that works so they can hear what people are saying to them around and feel part of the social experience, whether it's that they need different cutlery or crockery. I mean, there's good evidence to show that having different colours of crockery and glassware is beneficial, particularly for people with dementia, to help them see things quite clearly on the table, and to have the right seating as well, so that if they have got a wheelchair, can they sit on a normal dining chair? Are they close enough to the table to be able to eat without spilling on themselves, to not have to stretch too far? Try not to have lots of distractions going on in the background, because that can be difficult for people to really concentrate on what others are saying to them and on eating their meal and enjoying it. If you have to help someone eat their meals, make sure you do it with dignity. Sit beside them, make good eye contact with them, take your time with them, give them small mouthfuls. Give them time just to enjoy the food, to test the temperature, to understand if they want extra salt or sauces with it, and to help them really enjoy the mealtime experience and to look forward to it, so they feel part of the whole dining experience within the care home.